So if you've been messing around with Warhaven for a while and you've tried just about every class and you're not sure which one you want to play, Spike seems cool, although getting flanked is terrible. Guardian feels like it doesn't have enough oomph to make a difference, so who is the best? Well, that's the big beefy boy in swinging in with Warhammer, and here's why. Warhammer is an absolute beast when it comes to team fights, duels, and even flanking. It does suffer a little bit when outnumbered, especially when Blade or Spike are cornering it, but overall has a versatile toolset to make an impact. Let's look at team fights. Warhammer's power swing, the charged hammer swing, can easily one-shot most enemy players, at least by taking a massive chunk out of their health. The big benefit is when you charge your swing and you use your dash to get close to the enemy. When you start swinging, it makes you unstoppable, meaning that you can't be staggered by taking damage. Enemies can block, but this deals a massive amount of trauma to anyone who's caught in the path, so there's that benefit. With a quick charge, too, Warhammer can swing and catch enemies off guard very quickly with a big beefy swing, and it works especially well when the enemies are focused elsewhere by your teammates. Smaller fighters like Smoke or Hush can be decimated by a single swing, while everyone else takes 2 to 3 to go down. On top of that, especially when playing against a well-guarded enemy, you can headbutt to create an opening for your teammate to strike or to use the ground pound, which can easily turn the tide of any fight, especially if you jump in from the side and catch enemies with a stagger. Overall, I give the Warhammer about an 8 out of 10 in teamfight capabilities. If played right, you can make a massive impact. Okay, so now let's go look at the other side of dueling. Now, I have found that the Warhammer can do exceptionally well at dueling, like a lot better than I initially thought. So as the aforementioned skills such as headbutt and the charge swing, there's a bit of mind games that go behind a one-on-one. Because of the charged power blow, it could cause the enemy to slide forward only for you to cancel it and go into a guard or into a headbutt. Then on top of that, your charge blow slide is a massive surprise for most enemies, especially those who may be a little bit less agile. Possibly the most fun is when you are vertical swinging an unsuspecting enemy to start the match off, either breaking their helmet or just one-shotting. Now, there are some issues like faster enemies or multiple enemies stopping you from getting in a big swing, but the way that you get to the enemy team and through them faster is by settling things with a couple of quick swings in a 1v1. Now, I make this sound easy, and there are some times where there's a bit of clunkiness that it feels like you should have hit the target, but you didn't. But overall, if you catch the enemy off of their footing and you start swinging, it really does make a big difference how many of these heavy attacks can actually make. Dueling, I give you about a 7 out of 10. Now, for some of the cons of Warhammer, and first is his attack range, and then of course his wind. Shorter than Blade and Spike and slower than both. This is why carefully timing each swing is key. The other issue is while charging a hammer blow, being knocked back or slightly tagged makes you lose the charge completely. So if you were mid-swing, you were fine. However, if you were not, or you were still charging, then it gets canceled completely. And also, as a note, sometimes the ground pound doesn't necessarily stick to your enemies, as well as if your enemies are slick, they can jump over it as it lands, so it does nothing. I've found that even though I've lined it up perfectly, sometimes it doesn't connect all the way, so this might just be a little bit more touchy than normal. Overall, this is a preliminary look at the Warhammer and who, quote-unquote, the best class is. Now, it depends on what type of player you are. You might prefer Spike over Warhammer, or Blade, or Hush, or any of the DPS or support. And as you are getting into this game and as the game goes through its early access, I'm sure that it will change vastly moving forward. Which soldier have you enjoyed the most? Tell me down below. If you are just getting used to this game and you want to learn some important skills fast, click this video here. Stay caffeinated, folks.